Okay, I return. Let me grab my headphones real quick so I can hear things again. That would be quite nice. Dogi has been let out, so she's now probably ready to properly relax. Okie doke, where were we at? What are we doing here, huh? My oh my, I feel welcomed. I feel so welcomed back. Oh, we get a cutscene. Look how beautiful.
It's beautiful.
What timing? Oh, I didn't even press A that time.
This is...
Are we gonna get the title on the screen or something?
Look, Yuri. It's the ocean.
I have a feeling.
I can see that. The wind feels great.
I've seen pictures in books before, but I've never seen it up close like this.
Okay, Aaron Yeager.
Well, people don't usually travel outside the barriers. If we keep going, we can see all sorts of things, like the jungle or the city of waterfalls.
There are so many more things we could learn, if only our journey would continue.
Roll credits.
I really was living in a small world.
That's a rare moment of sincerity coming from you.
It's your first time seeing it too, right?
Well, yes, but...
Aw, you must have had such a lonely life, tied to your research like that.
having you pity me makes me want to jump off this cliff.
This water has traversed the world's oceans and has seen all there is to see. The ocean binds the lands of our world together.
Here she goes again. It's really just one big puddle, you know.
Whatever. You were pretty moved back there, too. Huh?
So this is the world as he sees it.
You know, I don't know if I've ever properly seen the ocean myself. I've been to, like, plenty of lakes and such before. But
Yuri?
nothing like this.
Flynn must have stood on this spot earlier and looked out at the same scene.
I feel like the music's a little bit louder than the voices.
That's true. His duties do take him to many different places.
Always telling me to catch up with him. Easy for him to say.
Nor Harbor is just around the corner from Emmett Hill. We'll catch up to him in no time.
That's not what I was talking about.
Huh? What do you mean?
All right, let's get moving before LeBlanc and friends show up again.
Just follow the ocean road to the west after leaving here to get to Nor Harbor. We can't miss it.
We'll have plenty more chances to see the ocean. Your journey will continue for as long as you want. It's all up to you. You've made it this far, haven't you?
That's true.
Last one down's a rotten egg!
You're gonna fall if you don't watch out.
Oh!
Idiot.
Well, that's certainly a vista out there, isn't it? My goodness. Was I about to do something in here? I completely forget. You don't like the smell of salt water? I think that's neato. Myself, I haven't been around a massive ton of it, but like, only kind of small scale kind of stuff, but I mean. Yeah, I've been to Bahamas before and the ocean looked absolutely incredible. I imagine so. One day, maybe I'll do some traveling. I mentioned it on stream before, but I'm somebody that hasn't exactly done like a massive ton of traveling. Like the big travel thingamabobs that I did were like basically class field trips as part of my school. Like I went to Germany in grade 8 as part of my German bilingual classes, and I went to Costa Rica in high school as part of my Spanish classes. That was an optional Spanish class trip, which was a very interesting field trip to say the least. It was probably the most, you know, out and explory kind of travel I've ever been on. And then before that, I straight up don't know when the last time I went like anywhere really was, quite frankly. I mean, there have been times that I went to somewhere, like, really close by, like the next province over, for example, for, like, a cousin's wedding, for example. But nothing ever that's like, oh, time to go out, like, traveling and stuff. To the point that I'm not even 100% certain what it's like, quite frankly. My Taekwondo Dojang sometimes does trips to Korea, interestingly enough. And we get to, you know, get shown around by the master of our Dojang, someone who, you know, literally grew up around that kind of area. Oh, we got an armament helm, apparently. And I was thinking about going at the one that was booked for the end of 2020, but, you know, COVID happened, so that was kind of called off and stuff. But yeah, feel like if you want to go to a lovely beach, I think Bora Bora is pretty. I don't actually know what that is, I'm sorry to say. Is it bad that I don't know? So let's see here. Leather helm, armament helm. Sure, I guess. Look at these chests over here. I pressed Y, but they, like, encounter you from, like, a meter before they actually reach you and such. My ear was itchy for a hot second. But yeah, I missed a chest back there, back by the ocean cliff. I guess I'll have a look-see when I get the chance. I suppose is what I'll do. Well, oh my goodness, what's this watery freaking thingamabob? And you're constantly out of TP over there, aren't you? But yeah, you used to live in Florida, so growing up you took seeing the ocean for granted. Personally, not your thing. Yeah, I guess that's what would happen when, like, growing up beside that. I mean, I've sort of, in a way, our kind of second home that we have, this little cabin by a lake. I've kind of semi-grown up, you know, like mostly here in this place, but also quite a decent smidge in that other place, which I'll be helping put this pier in relatively soon, or freaking a couple of weeks from now. So, like, I'm very used to, you know, being around a lake at least and such, and regularly going out boating on that. You know, I've probably mentioned it on the stream before, but something very interesting about, like, life out there is just how different life is in, like, a small little village out there compared to, like, an urban place like this. Like, an urban place like this, I find that, you know, we're not often, you know, talking with a whole lot of people out and about. We did get to know the neighbors who are next door after they moved in, so, like, we're good friendos with them and such. But for the most part, we don't really know all that much about, you know, anyone around us, really, and such. Holy Bottle is new, apparently. Yeah, let's go ahead and do that. Whereas, out there, it's like, everybody knows one another. Everybody who's out there, like, frequently, at least, knows one another. Like, nobody's really a stranger, or whatnot. Dang, I was gonna do the freaking ring thing. You have people stopping by to visit, like, all the time. Because, like, everybody knows one another, and you want to go over to someone's house, it's like a 30-second walk down the road, you know? Like, it's not exactly super far. So some of them will just be, like, in the, like, when we're there and such, like, when we're there in the house, the doors are just, like, unlocked and such. So oftentimes out there at the lake, we'll just be, like, downstairs, like, oh, I'll go back for this one chest. Just be, like, downstairs watching some, like, TV in the living room or something like that. And someone will just, like, come in, walk through the door, be like, hey, how's it going? How are you guys doing? What, is there, like, a chest here or something? No? A chest back this way. Or, like, it'll be like, oh, maybe we should go see, like, so-and-so. Oh, here's the thing. Because, you know, it's not like it takes super long to go reach them or whatnot. Or sometimes there's an old work friend of my dad's that has a speedboat himself, and he likes to go water skiing. But of course, if you're going water skiing, you need somebody to drive you behind the boat who has a boating license. So sometimes he'll come over if he knows that we're there, and, like, just to come and see me and be like, hey, do you mind driving my boat around for me so I can go water skiing? You mind, you know, pulling me behind my boat? And I'll be like, okay. And then we go down and we freaking drive his boat around, and he goes water skiing, and it's a very different environment. Or sometimes you'll be talking with some people out there, and, like, I mean, a lot of this would be, like, before COVID times and stuff like that. But you'd be talking with somebody out there just as you're walking by, and be like, oh, want to come over for dinner today? Or want to come over for a bit of a barbecue? Or want to come over and, like, hang out with us by the campfire? Like, once it starts getting dark, and it'll be like, yeah, sure. or like come over for some late night games or some late night Cards Against Humanity or something like that. Like, it is such a different environment out there. So that's also been something very interesting kind of growing up around, but you know, not living out there, like living mostly here in the city and such, where the environment is like, yeah, we don't really know a whole lot about people around us, but also growing up a decent smidge in this village where like everybody knows one another and everybody's going out to see one another all the time, and like everybody, you know, trust one another. Like, the doors are always unlocked. Like, we sleep with the freaking doors unlocked. If somebody comes over in the middle of the night, they probably like really need something or something like that, and hey, that's that then and stuff. You know, it's a very different environment, to say the least.
Oh, that's a camping set.
Like, there's probably only like in the whole village maybe like, I don't know, anywhere from 30 to 50 places, but the amount of people that are out there like on a regular basis is probably somewhere closer to like 20 to 30 of those places. So it's like very close knit and such, one could say.
With this, you can set up camp and sleep without having to go to an inn.
Oh, is that a consumable?
Oh, that's nice. Now you can go off and play Nature Boy whenever we sleep at an inn. And we'll save money, too.
What are you talking about? Camping sets are single
Okay, so they are
use
consumable. So it's kind of like the tents of Bravely Default too.
Rita, don't be so mean.
That sounds really useful, Carol.
only. Yeah, they're essential when you're on the road. In addition to camping sets, you could also sleep on mats.
What, is that a consumable too?
But camping sets are really the best thing to use. You can't get a better night's sleep with anything else.
Yeah, I'm sure you can't get a better night's sleep with anything other than a camping set. That sounds about right.
What wonderful timing. All of you look so exhausted from climbing.
You look pretty pooped yourself.
Yeah, we've got a ways to go before we get to town, too. Maybe we should set up camp here.
All right, I'll get everything set up. Oh, once you've camped somewhere, you won't be able to camp around there for a while afterwards.
What?
Why's that?
After camping at a certain site, the basic barrier that's included in the camping set will stop being effective for a while, so long as you're near that site.
What a dumb excuse.
Basic barrier? What's that? There's no Blastia like that.
It's not a Blastia, actually. It's just something that gives off a smell that monsters find unpleasant. That's why they call it a barrier. It can keep the monsters at bay for a night. But after enough time passes, the monsters get used to the smell, and it won't keep you safe anymore.
That makes sense.
Yeah, sure.
Well then, we'll leave the setup to you, Carol.
All right, let's set up a camp a little bit further.
Acquire the following. Tent. I thought it was called camping set. But no, it's just a single tent. I mean, I guess camping set could mean that as well, but it would imply like maybe a couple tents or something like that. Set up a camp by using a mat, simple tent, or barrier on the field map to recover HP and well, there's different kinds of freaking things. To HP or TP received depends on the item. Okay, I guess. You'll not be able to use an item to set up camp again until after the next battle. Huh. That's interesting, isn't it? But yeah, that sounds fun, especially Cards Against Humanity. Maybe that's a game that we'll wind up doing like on stream with like I know that there's online versions of it. Maybe that'd be something fun to do with like a bunch of people in like Discord or something one day or something like that. Maybe. Let's return to field map. Immediate cutscene, maybe. All right, looks like we are out in the world again, it seems, and I guess we keep on going this way. You're probably an enemy. I thought that you were like a NPC I could like talk with and stuff for a hot second there. But probably not. We got hostile people now. It seems like. So this looks like a port town if I've ever seen one. And I haven't. But let's assume that I have for a hot second.